All right. I'm going to react to some drama that I find mildly interesting on the internet. It is of Charlie, or Moist Critical, or Penguin Zero, or the Big Moist, whatever the hell you know him as. And I don't know what the hell dude's name was. I don't even pay attention. This video right now, I ain't about. I don't know. I'm not gonna say, but it's there's the Dark Viper AU, whatever. Anyway, I just I just don't understand why people do the things that that dude did, that Dark Viper dude did. They are just, and I get that the React thing is a big topic of contention amongst content creators, and like it makes sense. You put a lot of work into it, and somebody just watches it, and other people watch it, and you might lose some views. Yeah, I guess that's a fair argument. But that's life, baby. You get a job, you work. I don't understand this need to for these people to just be like to protect this content creation sphere. Like it's like everybody has a divine right to go make YouTube channels or TikToks or what, Instagrams or the Facebooks or whatever, and like it should always be successful and it should always be popular, and it's not fair if other people are and you're not. Like, no, if you were going to treat it like it's a job, then it's a job. You lose your job sometimes. You get beat out by more successful people. You get beat out by scam artists and crap. You know how much nonsense goes on YouTube with the scams and the nonsense and the BS? Like, that's how it works. If you want to call it a job, you get ready to fucking defend your job. We out here got to sit there and prove every day what we're worth. Working 7 days a week, 118, 126 hours a pay period. Like we have to sit there and prove every single day that we are deserving of our job and need to keep it. And they still ain't giving us no raises. Meanwhile, there are people who are out here demanding money on the YouTube. Or you remember the dark side feel. If you don't give me money, I'm not gonna. Or like the ladies on the Twitch who are the half naked and I don't know why I'm streaming if I don't get a few subs. Like I don't understand why people I think it's owed to them. Like that don't make no sense. If it's a job, this is the world we live in has built around. Anyway, I'm going on about it. I'm gonna rant about that, but seriously, like that's just the game. You got it. That's what it's called. We out here in the metaphorical trenches trying to make something of ourselves. Like I think it'd be fun to be a gaming YouTuber. I ain't out here being like, what? It's not fair. Nobody's giving me whoop de whoop whats, yada yada yeets, and I deserve it. Like no, I gotta work my ass up just like I work my ass out in the real world, working nearly every day of the week. I've been able to get the weekends off, but that's only been recently. Like, it's crazy out here. But a lot of it, too, I just want to, I just want to say something to Charlie. I've watched Charlie for a long time. And while I did like his old content but I liked it because not so much, he talks about the end of his video where he's like, what is it? He's like, people still bring up how, those were his best years, 2010 to 2015, 2016. It's like, no, that's absolute nonsense. What made those videos good is that he didn't have to deal with all of this. He said he was unhappy in those years, and that's totally fair. Like that, anybody who says you should go back to doing something that makes you unhappy when you're doing something that makes you happy, they should be pink slipped, Baker acted, and checked into the mental hospital and analyzed by a professional. Because that's just not normal. That's insane. That is insane. Never go back to what makes you unhappy if you're doing something that makes you happy. This world is a bad place. It's a crap place that's been built on, matchsticks and nonsense. And so if you got something that makes you happy and you ain't hurting nobody and you ain't scamming nobody, you ain't thieving from nobody, breaking the laws, doing the crazy, then who cares? I just don't understand it. It's absolutely brutal out there. And Charlie's a fantastic YouTuber. Like, he kind of had, I see it in the comments down here too, talking about the comments and stuff. But I kind of see it as, I see people, we recognize that hurt in your voice at the end, man. And you can't there are always going to be naysayers. There are always going to be people who nip at the heels of the people who make it to the top of the mountain. That's just always how it's been. But something that is great about some of these YouTubers like Charlie, like Mr. Beast, like Jack, like fucking Mark, like Pewds, like they are willing, and there's several others. I mean, there's tons of others that are pretty good at it, but those who have made it to the top of the mountain, instead of being like Rockefeller, Carnegie, Gates, Zuckerberg, these new people who have made it to the top of their mountains, and they are just making sure others don't get there. These people are willing to reach out a helping hand every once in a while when they can, when they see an opportunity, and they're like, hey, let me pull this fellow human out of the mud and the blood and the fucking trenches and the shit out there, and help them out a little bit and see if they can make something of themselves when they get up here to the sunlight and they're not down there in the thick of it. And they do that more and more. I mean, you talk about Mr. Beast, dude's got a million hands out there pulling all kinds of people up to the top of the mountain, giving them opportunities. And that is fun. That is probably one of the best things about some of these new age of YouTube, these new age of content creators. You've always got your crap ones like Logan Paul and Darkside Phil and, EDP and all the other nonsense out there. And that's totally fair, but every industry's got it. They got the good, they got the bad, they got the gray. It's just how it works. Could you imagine if people like Rockefeller and Carnegie and Goldman and Sachs, if they had like Mr. Beast levels of altruism, we might actually be living in this utopia that they're told about in the books and they showed us in the movies and the TV shows. Instead of this, imagine if people with like Charlie's mentality was Zuckerberg, if somebody like Mr. Beast's mentality was Gates, if somebody like Mark's mentality was fucking Walmart homie dog before he died, and just on and on and on. Like if they truly had, had these mentalities and kept them on the same, we would be living in such a wild, different world. Charlie, you are a fantastic YouTuber. One of my best friends, she bought me for my birthday this year, or last year, she actually bought me The Man Who Forgot How to Poop book. It's very awesome. I enjoy it quite greatly. I always thought that if I ever get to sit in my comfy gamer chair, and I got a little desk, and my computer's all set up, and it's glowy and everything, and I got my gamer stuff, like my Legos and stuff in the background, I'll have that The Man Who Forgot How to Poop displayed prominently. And so, man, don't let those who nip at the heels of success get you down, because you are more than willing to come down and lift up at somebody who needs it. You got your fucking music videos, which what is it that the young people say? Like low key. Like that music, I don't know, it's fucking stupid. I don't know. Anyway, that shit is really good, man. The podcast is amazing. Look how it's grown over the years. Like, I remember that very first episode, and what are we at now? Like 4 years of that thing. Like, where has the time gone? Holy crap! You got all your collaborations. You got we would know who. I probably wouldn't even know Ordinary Sausage if dude over here didn't be like, hey man, let's check out this nonsense. And I don't watch Twitch or anything. I don't really care for the streaming part of a lot of this, so I usually catch it on the fucking video when he makes a video or whatever. But I just don't let them get you down, because you and a lot of other people are more than deserving of where you got. There's success stories born of a world where technology has progressed so far. I could not have imagined this when I was young. When Charlie first started, what do you say? He was like 14, 15 years old. You know what? I was 14, 15 years old. I was watching the first iterations of YouTube, where it was just the most random stuff posted on there, where nobody was famous, nobody was popular. It was just videos, and you just literally watched whatever was loading up on the load screen, because there was no in this nonsense. It was literally just go to the website of YouTube and here are the videos, start watching them, and you just click through them. So you could not have done this stuff, and here I am now, 32 years old. You can look at this. And so of course it has developed the same thing. I mean, you go back to the days of the business, the days of business, the days of everything. There's always people who nip at the heels, and those people were more than willing to not do a lot of the charitable nonsense that y'all do, and the craziness. So don't let them get you down, man. Don't listen to the people who say that you're not still a good, your glory days were in the back. There is a certain group of humans who just always feel that the old days of something were better. Just doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. We could point after point after point to where it was not good, it did not work, it was not making people happy, whatever, and they will still, back in the day it was still better. Yeah, well, fuck you. Fucking make a time machine, take your ass back in the day, and we gonna live here in the present, so we don't gotta listen to your nonsense. The dude, I don't know. The dude is such a fantastic YouTuber. You just really can't get too much better than this, all things considered. Like between the music, the podcast, the videos he makes, the slapping. I haven't even got to even experience God Slap or anything. I'm gonna go rooting around the internet for that when I finally get into it. But I mean, all of this stuff, it's just so story. These little animated stories he made for a little while, those things are really good. These things are really cool. All his Among Us content was actually pretty funny. So don't let them get you down, brother, because they will. And the moment they get those hooks into that meaty flesh of yours, they will do everything they can to drag you back into those trenches, back into that mud, back into that blood, back onto that battlefield, because that is how those types of people work. They just, what is the saying? Misery loves company. Don't let it get you down, man. If what you are doing makes you happy and the people around you are happy, like if your girl is happy, your friends are happy, your family is happy, the people within your sphere of influence. I remember as a kid, someone told me, because of how the way I grew up, they told me I spent a lot of time, I don't know who I heard it from, but they were like, there are two spheres in this world, for every human being. There's the sphere of influence that you have, and it's very tiny. You don't get it a lot. And there's the sphere of influence that you don't have. You can't mess with. And that's literally everything else. And yours is like point however many 0 ones you want to add percent tiny. But that's what you've got to work with. And as long as in that sphere of influence, you can sit around and say, yes, I have helped. I have pulled people up onto this mountain with me. I have done what I can to be a good human being and to be a good friend and a good son and a good boyfriend or a husband or whatever, and a good parent if you ever if you're a parent, yada yada yada. If you can say that, then that's what counts. There is only the one life in this world. There ain't nothing beyond this. I'm not Christian. I'm an atheist. There ain't nothing but cold, hard ground and a decayed into bones. Unless you give your body to science, then they cut you up and make YouTube videos out of you now. What if I could specifically request my body be used in a YouTube video? Look at this fat shit who died. We're going to chop him up and show you stuff. No. That's fucked. But nah, man, as long as you can look around and you can say that and those people are happy and you're happy, then what else is there? What else is there? Seriously. Like, everybody wants to sit here, and I think that's one of the things the world suffers from. Everybody wants to sit here and be like, well, I'm not happy because I don't have X, or I'm not Y, or yada, yada, yada. Or I'm not happy because I don't have what I want, or anything. Is like, if you have that and you have found that happiness, that's fantastic. One could almost say you've won. You've won, because a lot of us aren't there, I let people like, oh, YouTube's a real job. I work hard. Like, I'm not denying that you work a lot, but hard? That's not the thing. You sitting in some comfy $200 YouTube chair, PewDiePie red or whatever. You got back support and lower lumbar support. And man, I can't even get up out of my soft bed that I spent a lot of money on, that was supposed to be, a lot of money, about $700 on, that was supposed to be a good bed for people like me with my back. And it's not. I'll be still waking up with a kink in my back every day, trying to walk and do after work, do all this work. And I don't get a call in. I don't get days off. I don't get vacations. I don't get people reaching out and say, hey, can I give you money if you say some words on a video? Like, that sounds like the dream, baby. I already work 53, 45, 50 whatever hours every single week. I tell you what, if I put 100 hours into a paycheck every 2 weeks, I damn sure put 100 hours into sitting in some lumbar support, pushing up and going down fanciness that I can lean back and take a rest in. Let me tell you, man, one of the areas I clean, one of the offices, they actually have one of those gamer chairs. I think it's very funny. I'm just over here like, good Lord. I can't even go to the doctor because I ain't got no money in the cars in the shop. And these people over here complaining because they got comfy chairs and they got to sit in them and stare at a screen that's destroying their eyeballs. Well, guess what? I got to spray a bunch of chemicals that's probably going to give me some weird cancer in 20 or 30 years. Hell, probably even 10 to 15, seeing how this world's going. So yeah, man, don't let them get you down. Don't let them hurt you. Fuck them. Keep doing your thing and do what makes you and those around you that you care about happy. And keep making sure that you still pull those people up from time to time when you can. Because that is what I think one of the things that brings a lot of people to people like Beasts and Mr. Beast channel, Charlie's channel, a lot of these things. Not only do they have some insightful things to say, and sometimes they're funny when they play games, but they are that type of charitable human being, and they do stuff like that. And Charlie is one of those examples. So yeah, brother, don't let them get you down, man. You have done more with your life than most of us is ever going to get to. I fully well expect to die at work, having never got a day to retire, hardly ever gotten a day off. It's just the way the world works. It's what our ancestors, the ancients, built for us without ever knowing that they were doing this to the next generations. And it's a continual cycle. It is what it is. And I think the faster people learn that, the faster they'll be able to find their niche in life, the thing that makes them happy, and go with it, as long as it's not bad. So yeah, man, keep it up, keep trucking along. Don't ever stop being what you do. Don't ever change. Don't ever feel like you have to become somebody else or something, or have a certain mentality, because that's not what keeps a human happy. Be you. Be unapologetic about who you are. Don't pander. Don't become something else. That is a quick highway to being unhappy. Believe me, I've seen it several times. You see it all the time, and I know people and some of these personalities on the internet. So nope, just be you. It's cool. Anyway, y'all be safe out there. It's crazy. Have a good one.